Ever felt you got cheated after reading a few books that you bought with your hard earned money or well saved pocket money? No, I am not talking about badly written books. I'm talking about betrayal. If you want to know what I'm talking about, then keep watching till the end. Before that, I'll talk about 6 books by Ruskin Bond. Each of these books is a short story collection by the author. First up, we have Great Stories for Children. Next is The School Among the Pines. I thoroughly enjoyed reading this short story mainly because of the poem in it. I have talked about it in a separate video as well. Do check it out. And I have discussed in this video why it is special, because it kept me wondering whether is this a poem about hiking, or in general it just came to the author's mind, or what. So go check it out. Although you cannot see the characters, you can feel their innocence, the small school kids. Their description evokes such imagination that you will fall in love with those kids. Then there is The Wind on Haunted Hill, Romy and the Wildfire, Tiger My Friend. Then comes Monkey Trouble. There are two different pairs of grandfather and grandson in this book, that is the Great Stories for Children. One we see in the short story, A Special Tree, and another comes in the short story Monkey Trouble. So the grandfather and grandson pair that comes in Monkey Trouble, they are a fun duo. Their house is like a mini zoo, and with interesting animals, disgruntled granny, uptight aunt, and good for nothing uncle. So many other interesting characters appear in this short story. Not just in this short story, but I'll tell you more about them. Then there is Snake Trouble. The same fun duo appear in this short story as well. And then we have Those Three Bears, The Coral Tree, and The Thief Story. So the Romy that appears in Romy and the Wildfire and the Romy that appears in the Thief Story are two different Romys. Mr. Bond needs to come up with different character names. Prath in the House, The Overcoat. This is truly an unexpected story in this book. Then The Tunnel. If there's a tiger in Tiger My Friend, then there is a leopard in The School Among the Pines and The Tunnel. And then we have Wild Fruit, The Night the Roof Blew Off. In the end, we have this story, And We Are 12. So this is a short story of Ruskin Bond and the family of his caretaker, which he calls his adopted family. I loved Great Stories for Children because of different types of stories compiled together. I'm not the one to fall into publishing industry's categorization that a particular short story collection should have only one genre of stories. I totally love this book. For the same reason, this book doesn't bore you. It has short stories related to animals, supernatural elements, and relationship with grandparents. Next up is The Parrot Who Wouldn't Talk and Other Stories. So remember the fun duo in the previous book that we discussed, the grandfather and grandson duo? This book is full of stories about them and their quirky household. And of course, it also includes 2 short stories related to school days of Mr. Bond. Want a laughter-filled book? Then The Parrot Who Wouldn't Talk and Other Stories is just for you. The third book is Once You Have Lived with Mountains. This book is full of Ruskin Bond's experiences in the mountains where he still lives. There are some interesting facts too for those who crave for trivia. In this book, there is a short story, Love and Cricket. In this, I saw Ruskin Bond in his 30s flirting with his childhood crush. For me, Mr. Bond, since I got to know about his existence, he has always been old to me. Okay, so trying to imagine him in his youth having a very normal life, it's something it was something very difficult while reading this short story. So it's a lesson learned from a reader's perspective as well as the fourth book is The Whistling Schoolboy and Other Stories of School Life. This book is divided into two parts. One is School Days with Ruskin, and another is School Days, Rule Days. I loved reading The Four Feathers. It's full of innocence. Be prepared, my desert island. Remember this day. Letter to my father. Our great escape. This story will touch your heart. And then in the first part, you have reading was my religion. Yeah, my religion too. In the second half or the second part, you have Here Comes Mr. Oliver. The lady in white makes a funny little story, shows true life in boarding school. And missing person HM, maybe stands for headmaster. Then Miss Babcock's big toe. You will be laughing on the floor reading this. And a dreadful gurgle, a face in the dark, the whistling schoolboy, children of India, and school among the pines. Yes, this is from the first book that we discussed. The Whistling Schoolboy and Other Stories of School Life is all about Ruskin Bond's school days. This book will probably give you an idea, a small hint at least, why the author is the way he is. The fifth book is Thick as Thieves. Quite a few stories in this book are from his semi autobiographical novel, The Room on the Roof. For the same reason, these excerpts given here as short stories give you a different feel while reading. This book also features Ruskin Bond's poems. Some are good, others are dear to God. There is another Romy, the third Romy from Mr. Bond's world, in the short story, The Flute Player. While reading this story and The Window, I could feel the creepiness. I don't know if Mr. Bond never realized it, or it is the abundance of the negativity in the news and the social media. Say I have a dirty mind also, I don't care. But when you read these two stories, you cannot deny the creepiness. The story of Madhu is heart churning. In this book, also, you will find the origin story of Ruskin Bond and his adopted family. I have mixed feelings about Thick as Thieves. I am neutral on recommendation. If you decide to pick up this book, you're on your own. The sixth book is Looking for the Rainbow, My Years with Daddy. This book is about Ruskin Bond's childhood with his loving father and his time with the boarding school after his father's sad demise. The book has a melancholic note to it. There are beautiful, relevant illustrations to keep you interested. I have nothing negative to say about this book. No repeated stories from other books. I loved reading it. Now about The Betrayal. While reading these 6 short story collections, I found something really worrisome. Stories repeating in different books. Here I am sharing the repeated short stories from the different 6 books that I have read. When the Trees Walked is a short story in Great Stories for Children by Rupa Publications. This short story appears by the name The Tree Lover in the collection The Parrot Who Wouldn't Talk and Other Stories. This is by Puffin Books, an imprint of Penguin Random House. And this short story here is slightly modified. Then we have And Now We Are 12. This in Great Stories for Children by Rupa Publications appears by the same name in Once You Have Lived with Mountains, again by Rupa Publications. The short story The Four Feathers and The Whistling Schoolboy and Other Stories of School Life by Red Turtle, an imprint of Rupa Publications, appears by the same name, that is The Four Feathers, in Thick as Thieves by Puffin Books, an imprint of Penguin Random House. Be Prepared in The Whistling Schoolboy and Other Stories of School Life by Red Turtle, an imprint of Rupa Publications, appears by the name Boy Scouts Forever in the collection The Parrot Who Wouldn't Talk and Other Stories by Puffin Books, an imprint of Penguin Random House. The short story The School Among the Pines in The Whistling Schoolboy and Other Stories of School Life by Red Turtle, an imprint of Rupa Publications, appears by the same name in Great Stories for Children by Rupa Publications. And the short story The Playing Fields of Shimla in Thick as Thieves by Puffin Books, an imprint of Penguin Random House, appears by the name Our Great Escape and The Whistling Schoolboy and Other Stories of School Life by Red Turtle, an imprint of Rupa Publications. The comedy here is in one book, Ruskin Bond and his friend Omar are 12-year-old boys, and in another book, they are 14-year-olds. Here's the cherry on the top. The short story, Here Comes Mr. Oliver, appears in 3 books. 3 books out of the 6 I read. So it appears in The Whistling Schoolboy and Other Stories of School Life by Red Turtle, an imprint of Rupa Publications. The Parrot Who Wouldn't Talk and Other Stories by Puffin Books, an imprint of Penguin Random House. And Thick as Thieves, Puffin Books, an imprint of Penguin Random House, but with slight modifications. Let this sink in for a few seconds. I understand that Ruskin Bond holds copyright to his short stories and he can share them with whoever he wants. But finding the same short story in different books, that too by different publications, this is a bit too much for my bibliophile heart. Here I was hoping to read so many different short stories by an acclaimed author. But to find about 15% of the stories are repeated, that too within the mere 6 books that I have read by this author, who has about 327 books to his name that I could find on the internet. Have the publishers thought through from the reader's perspective? I don't think so. I understand that the publishers have the printing rights, but using it left and right to peddle the same short stories multiple times in different books, that's just not done, especially when Ruskin Bond is involved. At this point, I wonder if the author cares about the readers. I mean, this business is getting him some decent money at the ripe old age of 90. Can't really blame him. Having said that, I know a lot of you love Ruskin Bond as an author, his works, especially for his books like The Room on the Roof, Blue Umbrella, and the short story Susanna's 7 Husbands, based on which the movie Sat Khun Maaf was made. I don't know about you, but I definitely feel betrayed. I will steer clear away from the short stories written by Ruskin Bond, short stories collections having his name. I'll stick to his novels and novellas. If you prefer to read the book reviews, then head over to my blog. The link is in the description of this video. I am Shweta. If you find the 6 book review and the betrayal analysis useful, then give this video a like and don't forget to subscribe to We Read That Too.